Okay, Monday, what are we, day 88? Day 87. I should check this before I log on. Day 88. Sweet. Um, have a big different week planned. Starting tomorrow, I'm getting a big excavator delivered, and we're going to do some groundwork. We are going to, um, it's one of the biggest issues or hardship, not hardship, what's the word? Challenges about this location right here is that there's no good way to bring a vehicle back here, and so that limits the amount of materials I can bring in, the kinds of tools I can bring in. I mean, in fact, I can't just have a excavator magically appear here either. It also limits like how much flexibility I have with the area because I can't dig anymore. It's just too much to dig by hand. I don't know how anybody ever did it. So I've got an excavator that's coming tomorrow. Got 1 week with it. It's pretty expensive. You have to make the most of that week. And it's going to start over by the house. We're going to be cutting a road, cutting a little trail, maybe just wide enough for a vehicle, but it won't be, anything official. Just cut a little trail through our property. It's got to go. It's not really worth describing, although I'm going to try to bring all the camera gear and stuff so I can stream all that. But the idea will be to cruise from the main house where the excavator is going to get dropped off, just chomping away at the mountainside, widening a nice path. Once it's wide enough for the excavator to go a couple more feet, it'll go a couple more feet, and I'll keep on doing that. And hopefully, I'm not underestimating the difficulty of it, although I'm sure I'm underestimating something. But hopefully the excavator is powerful enough and capable enough. I think the one I've got can lift like 14,000 pounds in its bucket. So I don't even know what kind of a rock you would, the bucket's not an unlimited size. It's 24 inches. It's 2 feet wide. So I don't even know if there is a material, I'm sure there's something that weighs 14,000 pounds that would fit in that bucket. But my guess is that won't be a problem as long as I don't hit like pure bedrock and it's just, big boulders that need to be moved. I think it'll be no problem. I'll give myself plenty of room on both sides. I love playing with skid steers and excavators. I think this excavator I think I've used like a 5-ton before, 4 or 5 ton. So this is like an 18-ton. So, almost 4 times bigger probably. And, but yeah, they're a blast. So, and it'll really start feeling like we actually have the amount of acreage that we have out here. So much of it is, just mountains that are, you can hike up them, you can make the walk. It's a lot of steep, it's a lot of obstacles, a lot of ravines, a lot of elevation changes, just a whole lot of stuff that makes it hard to get from one end of the property to the other end of the property. And eventually, I think it would be really great if we had the ability to get, around the entire property in 4x4 or a side-by-side or a vehicle or something like that. It just opens it all up and makes it all feel like it's ours to explore and ours to play with and ours to build on and ours to work with and to use. And so this will be the first in hopefully, a long, a many-year process of opening up the land to use of various kinds. We're on, you know, a beautiful little chunk of it right here, and hopefully by next week at this time, I will be speaking basically right here with an excavator behind me, and that would be just terrific, right? Also going to, while I've got it, I'm going to level out the build site out here, assuming I can safely traverse the terrain, and then on the way back, there's a little bit of groundwork that needs to get done, or that doesn't need to get done, but that I would like to get done by the main house. We've got this this shallow hillside that, if it were leveled out, it could be used as extra parking. It could be used for the events that we host, and or bocce ball. It just if it were manicured and groomed a little bit, it would just make it a lot more usable space. Could do a gazebo out there eventually, probably just like a timber frame thing. I'm going to try to use the excavator as well to move my my big logs. So all the, I mean, essentially, the maybe changing sort of in the last couple of days, started thinking about the most useful way to use this space, and so I'm thinking maybe, you know, a cabin is great. We can have little camping trips, but it's not going to get used all that regularly. But a workshop is much more valuable. Right now, I'm paying like $2,500 a month for like a warehouse space down in the city, and I don't use it very much other than to store all my stuff. So it's basically just turned into like a large, just like a really expensive large storage area that has a lot of, I don't want to say memories attached to it, but yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of memories there that make it an undesirable place to stay for very long. It's dirty and dingy and expensive, most importantly, almost $3,000 a month with the utilities. So it's well worth eliminating that cost from my monthly budget, even if it means I have to invest some amount of money to get a good space out here. But it'd be great to be able to move my tools, you know, just like have my workshop space just on our land, and do some storage out here, some woodworking projects, art projects, painting, online stuff, you know, just all kinds of stuff. So so rather than doing a traditional sort of little cabin, I'm going to try to do more of like a hybrid indoor-outdoor workspace, which of course could turn into something else over time as well. But that seems like a valuable thing. So, you know, part of it will be just sort of like a gazebo or a canopy, a carport almost, you could call it, and then there'll be a, you know, lockable indoor stuff. I'm still going to do it all with wood, or as much of it with the wood that I've harvested as possible. But I think that as far as like a long-term benefit to get, you know, we got plenty of room for a cabin. So it's not like we're not going to build one. But if I have a home base where I can move out of this expensive warehouse, and I have a home base out here, it just makes life fast, like just easier. And this would be, I mean, what an awesome little place for a workshop, you know. What a blessing. Thank you. You know, it's just such a blessing to have this land and this space, and you know, I always dreamed when I was a little kid of having like a long driveway. Loved the idea of like just a, you know, far setback house, long driveway. And not only is our driveway already long, but we have enough mountainous land that, you know, we can build brand new roads. And it still, you know, still goes on for a while that way. So we're definitely, we're still on the first quarter of the, if you broke the property up into quarters, like it's a long rectangle, and you just broke up the long rectangle into quarters, we're still like in the first quarter. So, you know, it's steep, it's mountainous. It's not like it's an easy terrain to work with or do anything with. But truly, if you wanted, like, there are so many places to put little things. So, thing that I was realizing when I was measuring yesterday, though, is that this what was going to be like the fire pit up here behind me, big hole that Chris and I dug at the beginning of the project, is unfortunately I think it might have to get filled in, which sort of sucks. It won't really matter, you know, if that's what has to happen, that's what has to happen. The driveway, the road that I'm cutting tomorrow, or starting to cut tomorrow, will be coming in over here. Let me come. So, like right, this will be where the road comes down. It's going to come up, down from over this hillside. It's got to come all the way around the mountain. Not all the way. It's got to come a little ways around the mountain. Kind of just skirting the edge with a little bit of elevation change, but nothing. I'm not trying to do too much, like, you know, steep stuff. I'm just kind of doing a gradual cruise up the side and a gradual cruise back down this one to have an area right here. This front space in front of the pit in the ground will be like the parking area. Should be enough. I don't need much, but I'd like to be able to at least turn my truck around. And that should do it. But then I'm thinking that there's going to be an outdoor covered area and then an indoor space. My current shop is like 2,000 square feet, which is significantly bigger than I'm going to be able to do out here. But I'm not using it perfectly. You know, I can certainly optimize it, and I don't know how big this will end up being. So let's. I'm going to probably try. I've got a hot tub that's getting drained right now. Afternoon. Chatting with you, but that's part of what I guess what I'm doing. So I'm going to do a little bit of bark stripping. I'm excited. Oh man, am I excited to be able to use an excavator to move these logs rather than doing them by hand. It won't be like how I move them forever, but it'll be wonderful to be able to just and I'll just stack and organize stuff in as good a way as I can. It's still like a fire pit out here, so but it's definitely more important to have parking. maybe I'll try to think of a different way to draw this rectangle. There's going to be a few trees that need to get cut down, so I'm going to have to, when I leave here in just a little bit, relatively speaking, I will pack out the chainsaw. But I also have to pack out all this camera gear, battery and stuff, so I'll just have to take a couple trips, I think. No big deal. Grab some gloves, sit down on this log, and start going at it. Doop doop doop. Doop 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 doop. It's funny, this all started, so I'd been just so resistant. I've been trying to do everything without having to bring in big equipment, which really limits the, scope of any project, especially when you're working pretty much by yourself. You either have the ability to lift and move big stuff and dig big holes, or you don't. And I didn't. So when I realized that I was going to either scrap the whole thing or get a piece of equipment out here, it sort of changes the, it changes the whole dynamic. It's almost like I'm just building like a logging road, really. Because if, like, let's say this whole area was getting logged, you'd have to build a road to get all the logs out. I've also been looking at just replanting. I don't think I'm going to replant the spring because I'd have to stop what I'm doing right now and do it. And a lot of trees like to get planted in the fall, so I think I'm going to wait till the fall to replant. Hopefully, when this project is done. The trees themselves also will repopulate the forest quickly, or faster, I think, than I would give them credit for off the top of my head. But I think like commercial forest or forests that are, planted for logging, I think they, they plant really close, like in close grids to keep the trees tall and straight without much branching. But I haven't done any research into like how valuable an acre of Douglas fir is, and who really knows at all in 30 years when they're actually ready to be cut down. So I don't know, but it's nice to have. It's a good problem to think about, what to do with forests that you're responsible for managing. Always surprised when I hear somebody mention the Space Force. The Space Force was involved. Everybody loves the Space Force. They said, we don't need a Space Force. I said, yes, we do. Look at all that space. And I'm just thinking, like, I don't have a lot of space like that direction behind the camera because the property line is over there. But I've got, you know, hundreds of feet of space up this hill. It doesn't get really steep for, that's 20, that's 40, for maybe 45 feet. So I might do, just depending on how much time I've got with the excavator, how quick work is going, how smooth sailing everything is. I'm just going to level off like a lot. I don't see any reason not to. I might as well, while I've got it out here and I'm paying so much for it, I might as well just do like as much dirt moving as I possibly can. So that's the plan. I might even camp out here for a couple nights over the weekend. Probably not, but I might. I wonder how good the excavator is going to be at stump removal too. I didn't want to get like such a little one that it would be hard, but I feel like, I don't know, 14,000 pounds sounds like a lot, right? But I'm sure, I think I'm sure that a stump, you know, the roots of a big, what was a 50, 60 foot tall tree, I mean, that's got to be, those have to be holding on to the earth with so much oomph that I don't even know if like 14,000 pounds, like just like ripping it out would work. You know, I'm sure I can run into them. I'm sure I can hit them with the bucket, push them with the arm. Well, yeah, we'll just see. I'm sure, I mean, the smaller trees, I'm sure will be no problem, but the bigger stumps, I'm sure I think I'll probably have to dig up, and that's fine. I'm still not going to do much of that, but if I wanted to expand my possible space this direction, then there's, I don't know, maybe 10 trees that would need to come down too. But I'll be honest, I don't really like these. I think they're like a juniper tree. They're sort of scraggly and ugly. It's funny, if I didn't own this property, I wouldn't have known it. You know, I mean, obviously, but like if this is just somebody else's yard, no one has been out here. It's not, but if it were, I would just be making improvements on property I was squatting on, which makes me wonder, like, how many times are people building, cutting down trees and building on property that doesn't belong to them? That was like the name of the game for thousands of years. Appreciate anybody who's hanging out watching. Oh, so many logs to go. It's funny, I'm thinking about, like, thankfully I've got a lot of ground to level, so in all of those cases, I'll just be pulling dirt from the higher up, bringing it over to the lower, smoothing it out, probably jumble it up a little bit, pack it back down. But I mean, if I run into I'm going to need a place to put dirt. And that place will be everywhere, I guess. when I'm doing the road, I'm just going to pull from the inside to the outside of the hill and drop it off the side. And then hopefully I'll get some good rocks out of that too. Ooh, oh my gosh. Wow, that's crazy. Weird noise. I hit like a crazy pocket of it's not called wax, it's called what's it called? Sap. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this at all, but this is just like a little tear out from it, and there's a huge pocket of it, the biggest one I've encountered so far. I don't really want to get my draw knife all sappy. Weird. So weird. You would sort of think it was like, that would be what you encountered. This looks like an ill thing. This looks like a weird pocket of, oh yeah. It's like little nodules with sap just totally flooded in the area. How deep is it? Looks a little rotten right here. Ugh. Trying not to. I'm just giving up, not getting waxy. It's not, why do I keep calling it wax? Sappy. Ugh. Funky. But gone now. Boom, and it's gone. Yuck. I wonder what the quantity of sap is in a tree. Hmm. Oh, man. I think the excavator that I'm renting, if I wanted to buy it, it's like $100,000 piece of equipment. And if I wanted to rent it for, I mean, they make, yeah, like 30 weeks. They've 30 rental weeks. They pay for their equipment, their $100,000 equipment. That's pretty crazy. Am I at the end? Oh yeah. How cool is it that we live on a planet where we have everything we need? Like, not only do we have everything we need, but it literally grows from the ground. I mean, so I think I'll do log storage initially back behind the build area. I wonder how much gear I can put in my in the excavator. I don't think there's much room. What time is it? Yeah, will you check with her? Period. Or question mark? Because I'm staying up here tonight. Period. How much did you say it was going to be? Got about another hour. Then I should probably start hiking it in so I can clean out the hot tub before I have to go back down to the city. I should probably do the multiple trips to get my gear back over to the other side today, so I'm just ready over there. But at the beginning, I'll be able to plug into my house. coming along. I don't know if it's my file that's, maybe it's lost the grit that it needs. But it's not getting very sharp, I'll tell you that. Whew, it's getting sunny out here. It's warm out here now. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna need to get some sunscreen. Something that I actually feel good about wearing on my face. Okay. Let's check the time. 1:35, so I'm gonna roll. In a minute, I'll roll this log over. Keep working for another 20 minutes or so. Hopefully the excavator bucket doesn't do too much damage to the logs. Try to get sort of a light grip on them, but should be okay. Wonder if I should have a big tarp for these. I think that'd be fine. All right, short day out here. Hopefully have a pretty long one tomorrow. Filled with digging. Hoping to be all the way back out here with an excavator by Thursday. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, half of Thursday. By Thursday afternoon, I want to be back here with an excavator doing the groundwork. We'll see if it works out. It's also possible that it's possible that we'll hit some amount of rock that makes it impossible to proceed with the route that I'm planning, which I don't think will be the end of the world if that does happen. I think I'll just find a different route where there's hopefully not the same kind of rock, but I think this thing will be able to handle it. We will find out. Love you, love you, love you. Thanks for watching. Bye.